Are there people in your professional circle who you find extremely difficult to manage? Well, we all have those situations. But in this video, I'm going to share with you some strategies which are going to change the way you deal with people, and you will be able to handle any difficult stakeholders by following some of those strategies. But for that, I have to tell you a story. Back in 2012, I had this incident with a client which actually changed my entire approach towards how did I deal with clients. But a little of a backstory first. So there was this new account that we got in Australia, and my role was not a day-to-day management. There was an account manager who was doing this, but my role was more of supervising everything and ensuring that, in quarterly meetings, everything comes out fine. But I had this vendor manager at this client end who would sometimes call me directly at like 9:15 a.m. in the morning and complain about how one of the persons came late, or how some offshore people are coming late. I don't know how he found it, but he found those kind of things. And I would always calm him down, and he would always say, hey, thank you, when I talk to you, it's good. So we would often catch up maybe once in 2 weeks. I would just go to him, or he'll come to some place in city and we'll talk. But what happened around in 2012 time period was that I had to go and meet him. And as I entered the office, he had this frown on his head. And he was really upset about something. I could tell, and I knew, oh man, I've got to handle something difficult. And he says, I'm really upset, Kapil. You guys are not taking care of these things. Cognizant is really failing on its responsibilities. And I'm like, oh, what happened? He said, we had this monthly meeting where the offshore delivery manager didn't turn up. And I'm like, actually, one of the things in the agenda today was to talk to you about it. And I couldn't have told this to you on phone because it is really serious. And with this exasperation, he said, what is it? He said, I want to tell you that, this offshore delivery manager, his father had an accident and his hand had to be cut. Now, obviously, anybody who listens to it, you're probably horrified listening to this. And this guy looks at me and says that, you Indians, you always have some problems, Kapil. I'm so full of you guys. And I am shocked to the core. This was inhuman. This was first thing I could have ever heard. And obviously, because of how it was, I decided I'm not going to tell him, unless I meet him face to face. I remember my reaction. I got up and I looked him into eyes and I said, when you are in your senses, then we'll talk. I'll be back. I give myself a lot of credit for not actually smacking him right there. I wanted to, and I wanted to call him names, but I just, went to this thing, took an elevator, went down, and as I'm on the stairs, he gives me a call and he says, I'm sorry about it. I should have probably been more XYZ. Would you come back? And I said, not right now. I'll be back in after half an hour because I really needed to clear my mind. Anyways, when meeting happened and all that, but I was really bothered about this. That's about a time when I was working on myself. I was really looking at ways in which I can handle things. So I got myself a coach. Probably about a year passed. After about a year, I got myself a coach because I was really wanted to find out what I could do in my life, in my career. And I was really not feeling engaged at work and all of it. So I told my coach about this incident, and I said that my relationship with this person, this vendor manager and the client, and has really gone down after that. I don't meet him often. I go once in a month, and it's like really, I feel that I'm not able to even contribute to the team primarily because of that. And he asked me what's the reason. I told him this story. Honestly, I anticipated support from my coach because this was literally an inhuman thing. But what my coach said is that, I want to ask you this question. Let's call this person RK because I don't want to name him. He said, does RK have family? I said, yeah, he has a girlfriend, but I don't know how she can tolerate him. And he said, well, do you really think so? Or do you think this is, because she's his girlfriend, she must be going to study with him? Yeah, I have to resign to this because it's a fact. Like, I don't know. Do you think he has got family, like his parents and all? I was like, yeah. more mellowed. And do you think he has a loving relationship with them? Yeah, probably. I'm still not giving full. So he said, do you think he has got friends? Yeah, I don't see how he can have friends. But do you think he has friends? Yeah, I'm sure he has friends. Everybody has friends. And do you think he's nice with them? Yeah, I'm sure he's nice with people, with other people. I'm sure he's nice with them. And then he goes, what if the blueprint that he has of dealing with you is distorted? The blueprint that he has in dealing with vendors is distorted. What if he thinks that's the way to deal with you? And my mind was like, so I call up this guy, set up a time, and I meet him and I ask him point blank, do you trust me? He said, if I trust you, anybody in Cognizant, I trust you more. And I'm like, okay. And so can I ask you a question? I said, yeah. Honestly, I feel you are a little over the top. I mean, I don't remember the language, but I conveyed to him that very polite way that you're a little over the top, you have expectations, and you're constantly concerned that something will go wrong. You're constantly concerned something will go wrong. So I appealed to his conscience in terms of asking him that, what are you worried about? This is, golden nugget number 1. Focus on them. So I asked him, what are you concerned about? What is your biggest concern about this? I don't think I said you're over the top. First, I asked him, what is the biggest concern about your engagement with the company? And he started talking. So that's the first golden nugget. Focus on them. Ask their concern first. However nasty they are with you. What is your biggest concern? Okay, he told me this, and he tells me this. I'm understanding. Okay, I understand. And what is your biggest worry of things that you have to do in order to keep everybody in check? So I kind of put a seeding there. It's the second golden nugget. Put some seed in there so that you can validate your hypothesis. He said, yeah, I'm constantly having to be on my feet to keep you guys in check. And I asked him that, and is it because that you don't really trust the vendors in general? Because you have had bad experiences? And this time it was his turn to pause, and he looked at me and said, yeah, generally vendors have not been good. And then we had a long chat. So that's basically, the first is focus on them. Second is put the hypothesis in there. And third, drop the bombshell in general. But ask them, is this about other people, not between you and him? I said, yeah. And then the fourth thing is, I asked him, what can we do to improve? And when he said that, what can we do to improve, then I actually put it into categories of things where he can let go of the worries. In this entire conversation, I also asked him, how does it make him feel when actually he has to be talking to me or escalating something, And he definitely says, I feel bad, I feel terrible. So I opened them up. So again, going with that, focus on them so that they can be vulnerable and they can focus on their concern. And then put the hypothesis in front of them, and then drop the bomb about concern in terms of whatever it is that you feel is the real cause of problem, and validate that. And then after that, have that open conversation with them where you can understand how they feel dealing with you, how difficult it might be. You know what? My relationship with him actually went amazingly up. He became much, much more supportive of the company, and everything became a lot better than what it was. Now, the reason I told you this story is because when you're dealing with a stakeholder who's difficult, you have to first understand what their needs are. Put them in their context. They have some context, something going wrong. While you are going about your life, they're going about their life. So always put things in their context. And then after that, take your hypothesis in a very nice way, diplomatic way, if I may say so, and put it in front of them and get it validated. And then based on that, you adjust whatever it is that you want to really ask them and put that in front of them. Don't take it lying back. Definitely put that in front of them. You're likely to get much better answer. If you think that's going to change the way you deal with your stakeholder, I would love for you to subscribe to this if you're not already subscribed, or like and share so that other people can see how easy it is to actually handle difficult stakeholders. Pray it forward.